In my career, I've flipped hundreds of homes, and I've trained students all across the country who have combined to flip thousands of them. And what's interesting is I've seen the same mistakes made over and over again, regardless of market, regardless of price point. And these are just mistakes that people make as they reach certain levels in their real estate investing career. So in this video, I'm gonna reveal those top mistakes. And it's not just from rookie investors. These are seasoned people who make big mistakes. And some of these mistakes can bankrupt even successful flippers. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ryan Pineda. I'm a real estate investor and entrepreneur. And the goal of my channel is to help people live the wealthy way. If you wanna learn more about that, go to wealthyway.com and you can download our free course, our free planner app, and join our free Discord community. So let's start off with a few of the mistakes I see rookies make and then jump into the experienced investor mistakes. So the first reason that most flippers fail is because they don't know how to run their comps or renovation costs correctly. In most cases, people are far too optimistic about either view. Maybe they see a house that's sold for $500,000 and they think that's their comp, but the reality is their comp might only be $470,000 because it lacks certain features this other one has. And the thing with comping is that it takes time to learn all of these little nuances that determine its value. In the most basic form of comping, you look at the neighborhoods, you look at the year built, you look at the square footage, the bedrooms, the bathrooms. All of those things play a role in its value, and they probably play the majority of the role. But then there are so many other things that can dictate whether or not it has the value you think it has on paper. Is it on a main street, or is a main street even behind the house? What do the neighbors' houses look like? What's the curb appeal of that neighborhood? How big is the lot? Does it have a pool? Does it have any other features that add value that the other houses don't have? In some places, just being a block over has a significant value difference because it changes the school zone, it changes the neighborhood, the crime rate all of a sudden falls off. There are a lot of things that go into comping just beyond looking at the bedrooms, bathrooms, and square footage. It's funny because I was talking to some of my students in Atlanta and they said that many wholesalers who try to go there virtually get burned because they don't understand how the blocks work. On one block, there's $3 million homes, and on another block, they're $300,000. So just learning how to comp properly is one of those things that can only happen with repetition. The repetitions are gonna take you through all the various neighborhoods of your market. You're gonna see why certain neighborhoods sell for more and why a certain house might sell for way more than someone that looks very similar. Now, when it comes to calculating renovation costs, that's another one where people just don't really know until they get more repetitions. You can use the price per square foot method, which is great when you're just trying to make an offer or all you have are pictures, but in order for you to get really good at figuring out your renovation costs, you need to actually go walk properties with a contractor and have them tell you what these things cost item by item. When I first started flipping houses, I had no idea what a renovation should have cost. And it wasn't until I started seeing them line item by line item that I realized, oh, this is pretty standard for what a light fixture should cost. This is what a sink should cost. This is what cabinets should cost. This is what flooring should cost. And with all of those things added together, you can start coming up with a price per square foot of the entire house. But in the end, that's still just always gonna be a guess. You've gotta start walking properties and getting those repetitions so that you can get a final price on what your renovation will be. The last thing I'll say about this problem is, even if you know those costs, a lot of people still get too optimistic just to make a deal work. They might see their after repair value at $480,000, but they need it at $500,000 to make the deal make sense. And so they start pushing the numbers and try to justify that the $500,000 is gonna be their ARV. And in the end, that ends up burning them a lot because they're trying to manipulate the numbers to make the deal work. Same thing that happens with renovations. Maybe it's a $50,000 budget, but they need it to be $40,000 to make the deal make sense. And so they start saying, well, if we sub this out and we do this a little cheaper, we can get the budget down to $40,000. You might be able to do that for one deal, but I can promise you if you consistently do that on every deal, you're gonna get burned. The second mistake that I see both new and experienced people do is that they don't make enough offers. Look, when it comes to real estate investing and getting great deals, it is simply just a volume game. You know that 99% of the offers you make are gonna get rejected. 99% of the people you talk to aren't gonna be interested in what you have to offer. And so when people aren't getting the amount of deals they wanna get, whether it's just getting 1 a month or 10 a month, the answer is usually you're not making enough offers. That's all it comes down to. I see people say, well, I need to go do more marketing because I'm not getting enough leads, or I need to go do some other new thing that no one's ever thought of. When the truth is just make more offers. If you're just getting started, you can go on the MLS right now and make an offer on every single property on there. Most agents are gonna tell you you're crazy, but there is gonna be one, if you make enough offers, that will tell you, yeah, my seller actually would entertain that. But are you willing to make the volume of offers that's required for you to get the deals you want? Same thing applies to experienced investors. Maybe they've already spent a lot of money on marketing, they've built up their pipeline, they have leads, and instead of hitting those leads with offers, they say, well, I gotta go just spend more money on more leads because these leads, they're not good. I've paid millions of dollars to get these leads in my system. Do you think that I need to all of a sudden go keep spending more and more to add to these leads? Or do you think that maybe these 14,000 people might take an offer as long as I could just get a hold of them? The truth is, if we didn't get any new leads coming in as of today, we could still get deals by just hitting all of the leads that we currently have. So whether you're new or experienced, you're not making enough offers if you're not getting the amount of deals you want, and it's that simple. By the way, before I get into mistake number 3, I wanna let you know that we just launched a brand new YouTube channel called Future Flipper. This channel is solely devoted to real estate investing tactics. It could be house flipping, wholesaling, rentals, you name it. We are doing content on all things real estate, and we're getting in depth on how to do these different things. I know that my channel has grown far beyond just real estate investing, and we talk about a number of topics, but if you're interested in going deep with real estate investing, make sure you subscribe to that channel because the content on there is strictly for that. Now, the third mistake I see people make is from experienced investors, and it's because they're not managing their cash flow properly. Most investors, as they scale, don't realize it, but they're commingling their funds and they don't have as much money as they think. Case in point, when I first did over 100 flips in a year, I had no idea what I was doing as far as managing cash. It was the most money I'd ever seen in my life, and I got into a big pickle because I didn't realize I was using renovation money to go buy more properties. You see, I kept buying all of these properties and I would raise all this money for my renovation expenses, but I didn't have them separated the right way. And so in my account, it looked like I had all of this money, but when it came time to go pay these renovation costs, I started to realize I didn't have as much money as I thought. And after 1 week of paying $200,000 towards renovation and the next week of paying $200,000 towards renovation, I knew I was in big trouble and I was gonna have to figure out how to go get some money. And thankfully, we got out of the issue. I ended up getting different credit lines. I ended up wholesaling some properties. And then I started figuring out how to manage my bank accounts properly. And I was able to start accounting for how much money I needed for renovations, how much money I needed to go run my business, and how much money I actually had to go buy more properties. And look, I know when you're scaling, it is so hard not to use the money in your bank account because you look at it and you say, well, if I used it on this deal, I could go make this amount of money. Trust me, I've been there. I know what you're feeling. But here's the truth. You can go broke buying too many deals. If you do what I did and you don't have a backup plan to go get cash, your business is gonna die. If you can't make your mortgage payments and you can't make your payroll, your business is dead, even though you've bought a bunch of great deals. So you have to learn to protect your cash flow, and you have to learn to set aside a reserve account that you will not touch regardless of how many good deals come across your way. You must keep that account very sacred and away from anything else. And if you do get a good deal, go figure out how to raise the money to buy it without tapping into your reserves. And I should also add, when your business starts growing, that reserve amount needs to grow as well. You can't have the same reserves you did when you were doing half the volume. Your reserves should be at least doubling to match your new output. The fourth mistake I see a lot of experienced investors making is that they try to go wide instead of going deep. What I mean by this is once investors start having a little bit of success, they say, all right, I wanna go to different markets, or I wanna start doing a different niche of real estate. And the reality is they have not gone deep enough in their current investing strategy, whatever that may be. Maybe they flipped a couple of houses and now they're saying, I wanna go buy rental properties. Or maybe they've made good money wholesaling and now they say, I wanna wholesale nationwide. My market is too small. I can tell you from experience, it is far easier to go deep within what you're currently doing than it is to go wide and say, I'm going to a new market, or I'm gonna get into a different type of real estate like multifamily or commercial. The learning curve on going wide is really big. To go deep with what you're currently doing is much easier, and it just requires you to think about what areas you're missing in your current market, in your current strategy. Even at my current level, people ask me all the time, are you willing to go flip in other states? Have you thought about opening up a new market? And I say, no. I think that we could do far more than we do in Vegas currently. And this is coming from somebody who's been one of the biggest flippers in Vegas the past bunch of years. So if I think that I can go deeper even at a high level, that should tell you guys how deep you can go with wherever you're at. Now, the fifth mistake that I see experienced investors make is that they don't get into coaching or masterminds. I made this mistake early on. I was having a lot of success on my own without ever having to pay anybody to do it. And I said, you know what? I'm already having success. I can keep on figuring it out on my own and I'm gonna be good. And this was just really prideful and stupid. I eventually got stuck because I personally only know so much. And once I finally humbled myself and got coaching and mentorship, my businesses started to exponentially grow. By being able to learn directly from people who had already accomplished the things I'm trying to accomplish, it fast-tracked me so much, like years. And being able to talk to these people and ask them questions as I was going through them changed things significantly. I had heard things I'd never contemplated, they had predicted things I was gonna go through that I hadn't yet done, and it just made everything so much easier by having these mentors and by being in these masterminds. And along with that, being around all these successful people made me level up my game. You see what's possible when you're talking to them, you get inspired, and you realized if they can do it, I can do it. So having this kind of network is so important. And I say this as advice to experienced people because they're the ones that are the hardest to change their mind. By definition, they've already had success, and so it's easy to think that they already know more than enough. I know because I used to think this way. But if you can humble yourself and realize there's so much that you don't know, your business is going to go to a new level you didn't even know was possible. And this advice becomes even more crucial if you're new and starting out. Being able to fast track and get around people who are making things happen is the #1 thing that is going to push you forward to success, especially when you're starting out and you feel alone. And I'm a bit biased, but if you are looking for coaching and mentorship on real estate investing, definitely check out futureflipper.com and you can book a free call with my team to find out what program is best for you. But anyways, those are the biggest mistakes I've seen from all levels of real estate investors. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, make sure you subscribe and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.